So this is my Bournemouth versus Liverpool match preview and my Premier League predictions for this weekend, which is a big weekend in the Premier League, isn't it? This weekend, Bournemouth versus Liverpool. What a game that's going to be! Interesting game, and you got Arsenal versus Man City on Sunday as well. So two interesting games in the title race, and we do play Bournemouth away from home. We got a good record away at Bournemouth in recent times, but this season they do look like a tough team. They're beating City, they're beating Arsenal as well. Just the job they did on Nottingham Forest, was it? Yeah, last weekend, 5-0. Who saw that coming? After the start season Forest have had as well. And Bournemouth, they done be aggressive. They don't have that aggressive presser turning into this game, and they will put it on us, Bournemouth. They will put it on us, but if they do, I do think that suits Liverpool. That should suit Liverpool to the ground, especially when we've rested our players as well. We rested our players last night against PSV. We basically played a second team and kids against PSV. Didn't really matter. We still finished top of that group anyways. Top of the league phase of the Champions League anyways in the end. And in the end, we actually got a favourable draw as well, in my opinion. All these media out there saying, oh, they took that Real Madrid. Well, we haven't. We took that PSG, Press, Monaco or Benfica. And Liverpool should beat all of them, in my opinion, whoever it is. That's not me disrespecting any of them teams. PSG is probably the toughest one on paper. But I think Liverpool will fancy beating all of them. All of them teams, in my opinion. And could have been worse. Could have been Man City. I think City that Madrid or Bayern Munich, don't they? I think Arsenal got a bit of a 50-50 tour as well. AC Milan and Juventus, I think they're the toughest ones for Arsenal. They could that as well. But that's the Champions League. It's done now. And that's the good thing about the format of the Champions League. Man City almost went out, but they had a second half turnaround. As the club proves. But back to this game. Our players don't know excuses now. They had a rest. So if we don't perform, we don't get the result we want, there's no excuses because you've had a rest. And Bournemouth have had a rest as well. Bournemouth had a week's rest as well. So should be an interesting game. Both of them should be threats as well. Both teams will be threats as well. And yes, we will. We're not like Arsenal. Arsenal still risked first team players last night against Girona. I was thinking to myself, what are they doing? And that's good for us in the long term because them players have done put it down at Arsenal. Because they've been overpaid in many games like last night, for example, for Arsenal. Obviously, I'm not saying they risk all the first team players, but they did risk some of them. Partey, prime example. Odegaard as well. As well as Odegaard's not been cutting it at Arsenal this season. And having Trossard as well. He got risk as well. So yeah, having their players and play it down at Arsenal. So this is why I'm not worried in the long term in terms of the title. I know what, I think this weekend's probably the big weekend. For me. Towards Liverpool. It don't really matter about Liverpool's result against Bournemouth. Arsenal still need to win against City. Because we could use the Bournemouth. And Arsenal could towards City. And it'd still be 5 points with a game in hand. And even if that happens, I would say, you know what, it's done. in my opinion. It's definitely done for Arsenal now. Because they haven't showed it this season, Arsenal, where, and I think it's getting to them the last 2 seasons now. After pushing City the last 2 seasons, you can start to see the burnout in Arsenal now. No Saka as well. And the thing is, bit of a spoiler for my prediction, I don't think Arsenal beat City at the weekend. I really don't. I think that's probably got a draw written all over it. But in terms of my lineup anyways for the standings, Bournemouth, I don't think Arsenal, Trent, Hanate, Van Dijk. I don't think Simitas is starting instead of Robertson. I think we need Simitas for his pace. He'll have more pace stepping back than Robertson against the windows of Bournemouth. Interchange and windows of Bournemouth as well. Cronberg, Matata, Sobasai, and Salah Diaz Dapo's front three. That's the only thing I was pissed about with last night's lineup. Cody Dapo was playing against PSV. I understand, it's his former club and all that, it's his former club. And it was all sympathetic, nice stuff at the end where he got sucked off after scoring and capping the PSV fans, etc. But I easily didn't get injured, that's the main thing. And the fact that he got sucked off probably means he's done a pair against Bournemouth. Well, he should be playing because it's probably been, I think he's our second top scorer behind Salah in terms of goal output. And I think Diaz will probably stand in the middle because he got a rest, isn't he? So, the team pits itself. And yes, that's great into my predictions for this weekend. Forest versus Bournemouth, I don't think 2-2 draw on that one. I think Forest won't use this game. I think they'll kind of have a bounce back. But I think they will draw to Brighton. I think we beat Bournemouth 2-1. I do think we will beat Bournemouth. But I think it'll be a tight game. I think both teams will score, but I think we'll win 2-1. We got a good recent record at Bournemouth as well. Obviously that doesn't mean anything, but I think we'll beat Bournemouth 2-1 for me. Just because with threats, the first team's going to be threats as well. If we still had to qualify, I would actually put us at 12 points. To be honest with you. Everton versus Leicester. I think Everton did the win against Leicester. As much as Leicester did beat Spurs. But Spurs is Spurs. I think Moyes is having a turnaround at Everton. Ipswich versus Southampton. I think Ipswich should look at that game and think themselves need to get 3 points here. 6-pointer as well. So 2-1 to Ipswich. Newcastle versus Fulham. Done for a 2-2 draw. Done for Aston Villa to win 2-0 at Wolves. I done for Brentford to beat 3-1. To beat Spurs 3-1. Spurs is top class defensively. And Brentford will be hitting their yet. I done for Manchester United and Crystal Palace to end 1-1. I think Palace will find out a result against Manchester United. Man United still weren't good against Fulham, despite beating Fulham. Man United defeated though, one of the game. It was a poor game. Arsenal, City, I've done for a 2-2 draw. I think there's a draw written all over it. I think Arsenal should be confident you can get at City defensively. But the problem is, I don't think Arteta's unpaired that way. I don't think he'll go for City. And I don't know what it is against Man City. Arteta just seems to always be pragmatic against them. And that's how City sometimes don't use games against Arsenal. So I don't think a 2-2 draw. And I think that will probably be the big tossy point for Arsenal if the results are to go this way. And Chelsea versus West Ham, I don't feel 1-1 draw. I have to come for Graham Potter to do on their result at Chelsea. On his return to Chelsea as well. So that's my Bournemouth versus Liverpool match preview. My predictions for this weekend's Premier League games. 2 massive games this weekend. Bournemouth, Liverpool, Arsenal City in terms of title rates. And let's see what happens this weekend. But the main thing is, yes, do our job at Bournemouth. And yes, keep marching on up the Reds.